Governor Bredesen, we greatly appreciate you being here today and participating in this board meeting. It's my pleasure to talk to you today about advancing the University of Tennessee at Knoxville towards the top 25. As all of you know, Governor Bredesen flew into town in a snowy day in January and challenged the University of Tennessee at Knoxville to become a top 25 university. Governor Bredesen, we greatly appreciate your confidence in us and issuing that challenge to us. We took it very seriously starting the day that you addressed us, and we immediately put together a task force to accomplish a plan, and we're sharing that with you today. Today I would like to talk to you about our goal of becoming a top 25 university and what we must do to reach it. We're going to look today at a gap analysis that looks at the top 25 target group of schools, and it then compares us against those so we know what the gap is. And those gaps must be closed over time if we're going to become a top 25 university. Now, many people have asked me, well, why would you want to become a top 25 university? And I would answer that very simply with two statements. One, it will make us a better institution for the students we educate, and it will allow us to be a better institution to serve the people of Tennessee. And those are the two fundamental reasons. We will increase quality and the value of education. We will further develop our research. We will contribute to economic development and growth. And we will strengthen the University of Tennessee as the flagship university of this system. How do we go about this? First, we appointed a broad-based task force in January. And Dean Bruce Burston from the College of Arts and Sciences, and Bruce, would you please stand so we can recognize you, chaired that task force, and thank you very much, Bruce, chaired that task force of faculty, staff, and students, and we gave them the charge to, in that short period of time between January and June, to put together a plan that basically outlines what we're going to accomplish to be a top 25 university. We have a comparative group of 27 universities that we're looking at, and we're using quantitative measures that deal with undergraduate education, graduate education, research, faculty, and infrastructure. And what I'm going to share with you today is some of those areas that we must work on if we're going to become a top 25. Now, in your folder, you should find a sheet that looks like this. And that sheet has the aspiration group. That's the top 20 of the top 25. That's our aspirational group. The next group is our target group. That group's the 21 through actually 29. So that gives us target. And then we have our current peers. So we're looking at them. When I display data up here, it's reflecting those institutions that we call the top 25 target group. And I will refer to the aspirational group one time during my presentation. So today, I want to share with you basic major areas that we must focus on if we're going to move this university to the top 25. The first thing is undergraduate education. And if you will notice here, we have this relative to our top 25, we have the target group, and where we currently are. The good news about this slide is that our freshman class is already equivalent to the top 25 institutions. So the people that come here as freshmen to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville are already meeting the top 25 standard. If we look at retention rate from freshman to sophomore level, you will notice that we're 6 points deficit. Ours is 84%. That target group is actually 90%. And so one of our challenges is how do we increase freshman retention to sophomores? And we certainly have plans in place to do that. Our six-year graduation rate is currently 60%. Our top 25 target is 75%, so that's a 15-point deficit. If we improve those two measures, We will significantly improve the quality of this institution and its service to the state and its service to students. Now let me show you graphically what that looks like. If you graph all the institutions, and you don't really need to look at what those specific names are up there, but if you notice us down here, we're 52 among public institutions currently in the country. There are 600 public universities that are in this analysis, so we're 52. If you look at the very top, you've got University of Virginia and Berkeley. And what this says is our graduation rate needs to accelerate up this graph if we're going to move into the consideration for top 25. If you look at our opportunity for improvement, I have two universities I want to share with you, Ohio State, Minnesota, and the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. You will notice that actually in 2004, University of Minnesota started below where we were as far as six-year graduation rates, at less than 57%. But notice the slope of the line. We have constantly been improving, but our rate of improvement is insignificant compared to our competitors. And so what we have to do, as you look at these graphs, is shift those lines up. And we have to perform more like Minnesota than we have like the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. We currently have plans in place that are moving those lines. And so this is not something new for us to do. If you look at PhDs awarded, you find that we're 209 students less than the top 25 target group. That means that we have to increase PhD production by 80%. That is doable. As a matter of fact, Governor Bredesen, in your special session of the legislature, you provided funds to establish an interdisciplinary PhD between University of Tennessee at Knoxville and Oak Ridge National Laboratory. That plan itself will significantly change this statistic over time. And our master students, we only have 15% to grow to meet the top 25 requirement. So if you look at the University of Tennessee in a graphic form, from where we are, there's two institutions, Auburn and Clemson below us. We're 277 here on PhD production. We have a steep curve to go up, and we have some major universities to compete with, and those universities aren't sitting still. But we can do it. As a matter of fact, the athletic department gave us an extra $1 million last year from their SEC contract. $800,000 of that has been allocated to PhD students on this campus. And this year we will have 50 new PhD students as a consequence of that contribution. If you look at federal research expenditures, there are two measures you can use, expenditures or grants awarded. We're using expenditures here, and this is 2008 data. When 2009 is finalized, we will be doing better. But we've got a huge gap of about $112 million from federal expenditures, and total research expenditures by about $262 million is the gap. If you look at current faculty and salaries, we have a gap of about $6,000 at the lower level and about $12,000 at the upper level to get our faculty up to top 25 standards. Charles Wharton stopped by my office this week and looked at a couple of these, and he said, well, what if you go to the aspirational group on this one? And I said, Charles, I'll try to get the statistic for you. This figure moves from 5,600 to 10,300, and this figure moves from 12,000 to 24,000. So that gives you an idea of the scope. If you look at operational expenditures per student, which is a key indicator of how much resource base you have for the students that you have, you notice that we are $8,200 below what the top 25 target group is. And as you're going through this presentation, I need to mention to you that we will have a handout for you immediately when this is over. I didn't want you looking at the handout while I was speaking, so you will get a copy of that just in a few minutes. If you'll look at endowment per student, we're $24,000 less than the top 25 target group. And if you think about those two statistics there, it says that we are performing extremely well on the resource base that we have. And we can make improvements on that resource base. But over time, we have to have ways to increase the revenue stream if we're going to compete against the best universities in the country. So where do we go from here? We've looked at Minnesota and we've looked at Clemson. Those are two universities in the last 5 years that have moved in the top 25. And we said, what did they do and what did others do as they tried to significantly move from where they were to a better position? And these are the common characteristics. Number one is sustained commitment to improvement with long-term goals. What I've tried to outline for you today is some key metrics that we're going to use to monitor our progress. The second thing is progress tracking and sharing that measurable performance objectives with you on an annual basis. So a report to our annual stakeholders. And we hope that you will allow us to have the opportunity to speak to the board on an annual basis about the progress that we're making toward this very important goal for us. And then to diversify the source of revenue. It's an ambitious plan that we have outlined. The governor gave us a decade. I've searched and found that the only university that has moved up 18 spots ever was the University of Pittsburgh. And it took them a decade to move up 18 spots. Now, if you think about the top 25 and 52, that's 27 spots. That's 27 steps. But I think we're up to the challenge. It's an ambitious goal. It's one that we want to achieve, and it's one that we're committed to achieving. What I hope to be able to do in October is to share with you some more specific plans on what we're going to do to significantly change the University of Tennessee to move it towards the top 25. We're going to need your help. This board has been extremely helpful to me in the year and a half I've been here in helping come up with creative ideas to solve problems. And we're all going to have to work together to think about ways that we will advance this great university. And the last thing I would like to say is that as we think about this, the journey that we take is more important than achieving the goal. Now, that does not mean we shouldn't achieve the goal. But what it means, if I can come to you in 2 years and show that our graduation rate has significantly increased and our retention from freshmen to sophomore has increased, that will say we're serving the students of Tennessee much better than we did before. And that's why we're pursuing the goal to be a top 25. Not just to have the designation of a top 25 university, but to have that designation because we're doing a better job serving the students that we have and serving the state. This goal that we have set and the governor has challenged us to accept, we will pursue with abandon. It's not going to be easy. We may suffer some setbacks along the way. And Doug Horn has taught me that you never achieve anything unless you have 1 or 2 setbacks. That you've got to be willing to put yourself out and test yourself against the very best if that's what you're trying to accomplish. And so we agree to pursue that. And with you and with your help, we can work together, and we will be successful, and we will create a better university. And Governor Bredesen, I greatly appreciate your challenge to us to become a top 25 university. Thank you very much.